Good morning, Cape Town. I've got a strong voice. That was the test, 1, 2, 3, like what everybody else does. I decided to make different. Thank you very much for taking the time to come and to Legal Tech Talk 2024, and we hope that we all see you next year as well. We know that your schedules are very, very busy. And as you've probably heard everybody talking about, the commonality that you hear throughout the whole session this morning was around governance, risk, and compliance. Not specifically in that order, but those three commonalities. Every day we are challenged by our clients because they demand work to be done quickly, cost effectively, but we still need to make a profit. Otherwise, why did we start a business? Then we have external factors that also influence us. We have legislation that influences us. Our clients do not necessarily understand all those things. And that creates challenges for us, especially when we come to customer satisfaction and all that kind of stuff. Because they all demand we must have it done today. But the one thing that I want to highlight today is the external influences. We all are colleagues here. We all see what other law firms do because we have staff movements. And it's, I did this at that firm. And we go, did it work? Yeah, it worked very well. So what do? We adopt that into our businesses. Not sure whether it's going to create a risk or not, but something tells us over here something is funny. So I'd like to use an example, an analogy for you of one of those examples. What would your immediate emotions be if I was standing up here as we are doing now and we are talking and I go, there we go, you want one? I'm almost finished. And that's the reaction, because why? We all know about the rules. It's under roof, there's children. You know, we're not allowed to do that. However, if I pull this one out, it's a vape, by the way, for those that don't vape. It's a commonality you see today. However, the laws in South Africa categorize is exactly the same thing. But we let this one slide, creating a risk in our company. Because everybody else is doing it, they're doing it. So just join. So I'd like to, oh, sorry, no, back. Technology only works when it's good. Oops. Sorry, Barry. They're already seeing your slide. Or is it Tony? Oh. Thanks.
You go.
There we go. Okay, just. See, technology only works when you know how to use it. Okay. Wouldn't say that I've been 35 years in the industry. So, I'm not a PowerPointer. The proof is in the pudding. Thank you very much. I'd like to highlight one specific service. And the reason why I've decided to highlight this one specific service is our research has showed in the last 3 months that there are 15,000 unissued summonses because of irregular services. 15,000. And that's just what I could find. There are 18,000 unprocessed or unissued default judgments because the court says that the summons should not have been issued because of irregular service. Now, for those of you that don't know, irregular service is when the court rules dictate how you must do something, and we cut corners because of COVID. Everything we blame to COVID. Okay? And I must blame as well my children, because my wife phoned me earlier and asked me where's the cigarettes, and I went, I've got no idea, check the children's school bags. So, yeah, they go to private school, so they need the tuck money, you know. Things are becoming expensive. So, yeah. I'm glad you could associate. Glad to see I'm not the only one with those challenges. So, there is technology out there. So for somebody that wonder if the post office is open, the post office will never close down. However, the post office around the corner will close down. So the post, like everything else that you've heard today, is innovation. Things are going to change but stay the same. The post office will be there, but how you interact with them is different. So that brings me back to the point I wanted to describe. What am I going to talk about today? About risk, governance, compliance. I know that the post office is a good idea, because that's the commonality that I see throughout all these summonses and default judgments that are a problem. A simple little thing like using the post office because I can't find one, let's use a courier company or a whatever. We can talk about all the other services later. But there is technology that provides the ability for you to have access into the post office. So now you have a service provider that claims that he can send a registered mail that complies to the court rules. But how do you evaluate if this service provider, this expert, is actually providing the service? That's the challenge. Because we all know I can take a document, I can slap a logo on it, and I can show it to you, and you go, oh, looks legit. My next door neighbor's using it, so why can't I? So one of the ways that you can do, and let me not press the button again too quickly. I mustn't look at that screen, I must look at that one. So if a technology partner comes to you and he proposes that he can do something, do your due diligence on that technology, exactly what Barry said. Does the technology service provider comply with information security regulations? There are two. There's NIST, which is the American one. So for those companies there that are related to American firms, it's NIST. And then the Europeans is ISO standards 27001. All that is there for you to read up. So as an example, you can have a look at this track and trace report from the system that we provide. And how you can simply verify, and I know 9 out of 10 of you can already read what's on the screen, so you already know what I'm talking about. But the RA number is important because that is traditionally what you used to have on the front of the envelope. For those senior litigants with plenty of staff, that's a little envelope that your letter gets put inside there and it goes out and stuck on there. Your clerk normally does that. Then right at the bottom is that old post office slip that you used to get from the post office. It's now digital. Things have changed. Okay, so those are just a few items that you can have a look and see, is the service provider providing a service that complies and not creating risks for you and your firm? I'll tell you a story. Last week, I think I got 1 minute left. There we go. Thank you very much, Marie. See, got a watch. Can't afford one, but yeah. Got a watch at the back there. 2 weeks ago, Sunday night, we were in the Durban, doing Tech Talk Durban 2024. And a senior attorney came to me, and he told me, Andre, I've got a very interesting story, because you saw that little slip there. He was doing a matter, 140 million rand. He was the defendant. He was busy losing the matter. And him and the advocate were sitting one night going through the papers, and they already informed the client that we are losing. Imagine the client was very happy. Okay? And then he read something in one of the pieces, that this client of his served the notice on the client via registered mail. So he went out like any prudent attorney, employed a professional person for 18 hours, and they found the slip. As all of you know, to get that document now, add evidence into the court file was a job and a half, but he told the advocate, you will do it. They did it. The plaintiff advocate, as most of you know, that would be a high court matter, because it's over 500,000. All right? Said, no, but it's too late, I don't want this in. And the other advocate said, listen, what's it going to do? He says, just leave it. And they accepted it in. Okay, they informed the judge on the instruction of this senior attorney of mine. He, by the way, he's now a client. So I'm expecting a lot of signatures from you guys. Huh? All right? 2 weeks later, the judge gave a judgment. They won the matter with costs, just because of that little slip at the bottom there. 47 rand versus 140 million with costs. Imagine if he got it wrong and he used someone else or used an alternative service. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. There's not time for any questions. I've taken too much time with my stories. But I am open for business as well.